Hey, welcome. Artificial intelligence, it's not science fiction anymore, not by a long shot. It's already here, and it's quietly reshaping pretty much everything. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all the noise and ask the really big questions about this new machine age. Let's dive in. I mean, just think about it for a second. From the music you stream to the news you see, AI is making choices for you every single day. It's this powerful, almost invisible force in our lives. And that brings up a huge question, right? If we're handing over the power to decide, how do we make absolutely sure those decisions are good ones, that they're fair, and that they line up with our values? To even begin to answer that, we first need to get on the same page. We have to be crystal clear about what we're actually talking about. So, what is AI, really, once you strip away all of the Hollywood hype? Did you catch that? The key word here is tasks. See, AI isn't really about creating some kind of conscious robot like in the movies. It's about building incredibly specialized tools. And these tools learn from data to do one job and do it really, really well. Whether that's recognizing your face to unlock your phone or making a super complex decision in a split second. And, with any tool that's this powerful, the very first and most important questions we have to grapple with are about ethics. How in the world do we build these things responsibly? This right here, this is the heart of the challenge. Because when an AI is making calls about who gets a loan, who gets a job, or even things in our justice system, fairness isn't just some nice-to-have feature. It's everything. The problem is, trying to teach a machine what's fair is unbelievably complicated. And the reason it's so hard comes down to how these systems learn. So old school software, right? It just follows the rules we humans write for it, step by step. If something goes wrong, you can trace it back to a specific line of code. But deep learning AI, that's a different beast entirely. It learns by looking at mountains of real-world data, our data. And if that data has our own historical biases baked into it, around race or gender or anything else, well, the AI learns those biases too. Its logic becomes this black box, making it almost impossible to know why it decided what it did. So this way of learning creates this whole cascade of ethical challenges. We've got the algorithmic bias and that black box problem, the lack of transparency, but then it gets even deeper. What about accountability? If a self-driving car makes a mistake, who's responsible? The programmer? The owner? And then there's this bigger, kind of spiritual question. What does it do to our own sense of value when a machine can master things we thought made us uniquely human? And look, these ethical questions, they aren't just for a philosophy class. They have massive, real-world impacts that scale up and affect our entire society. That's why so many experts are starting to see AI not just as a tech issue, but as a deeply, profoundly human one. And this is not some sci-fi future we're talking about. AI is already woven into the systems that run our daily lives. It's helping doctors spot diseases, it's deciding our credit scores, it's even being used in the justice system. This is happening right here, right now. And in every single one of these areas, it's like a double-edged sword. At work, yeah, it can free us from boring, repetitive tasks, but it also threatens to displace jobs. In healthcare, it could lead to incredible new personalized treatments, but it puts our data at risk. And online, it can connect us in amazing ways, but it can also pour gasoline on the fire of misinformation. This quote just nails it. We aren't just using AI like you'd use a hammer. We're beginning to live inside the world that AI is helping to create. It's changing how we connect, how we work, maybe even how we think about ourselves. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom and tough ethical questions. After we look the risks straight in the eye, we have to ask the other side of the question. Where is this technology taking us that we could never have gone before? What incredible new doors is it unlocking? And honestly, one of the most exciting, almost mind-bending frontiers is creativity. Because with generative AI, the machine is becoming more than just a calculator. It's becoming a collaborator in the very act of creation. So how does this work? It's not actually magic. First, the AI just reads the library. It ingests a gigantic amount of human creativity, art, music, books, you name it. Then, it starts to recognize the underlying patterns, the language of that art form. From there, it can generate something totally new that follows those same rules. But, and this is the really important part, the process almost always ends with a human, a person who guides it, who refines the output, and who gives it meaning. And this collaboration is exploding across all the creative fields. You've got artists generating stunning new visuals, musicians composing melodies they never would have imagined, Writers using it to blast through writer's block. AI is becoming this incredible partner, almost an extension of our own imagination. Which, of course, kicks off this totally fascinating philosophical debate. It's forcing us to ask some really deep questions about what art and creativity even are. Who's the author? Is it the person with the idea or the one who executes it? AI is just completely blurring those lines in ways we're only beginning to understand. So, after going through the ethics, the impact on society, and this creative explosion, where does that leave us? What's our role in all of this? All right, let's just quickly recap the main things to hold on to. First, AI is a tool that learns from our data, the good, the bad, and the biased. Second, its impact is super complex, it's full of amazing promise and serious challenges. Third, it's not just about automating old jobs, it's about opening up entirely new worlds for human creativity. And all of that leads to the most critical point of all. The most important piece of the entire AI puzzle is us. I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. The ultimate test here isn't going to be how smart our machines are. It's going to be how wise we are in steering them. The focus has to shift from just building more powerful tech to building up our own human responsibility. And that really leaves us with this final thought to chew on. At the end of the day, an AI learns from us. It reflects our data, our history, our biases, and our greatest creative sparks. It is, in a very real way, a mirror, and it's holding that mirror up to all of humanity. So the question isn't really what the machine will become. The real question is, what are we going to choose to show it about who we are?